You're looking live at Ottawa, and we lead off the hour with that view on Parliament Hill and the news that broke late last night that the Trudeau government is dealing with yet another major controversy and misconduct allegations at the top of the military. Defence Minister Harjit Sajjan issued a statement revealing this new Chief of Defence Staff, the country's new Chief of Defence Staff, Admiral Art McDonald, is under investigation and has stepped aside just weeks into the job. Janice McGregor is tracking the very latest. She's in Ottawa with the information we have so far. Janice.
Good morning, Heather. Yeah, CBC News is trying to learn more about exactly why, as you say, the CDS, Art McDonald, stepped aside voluntarily, the government stresses, voluntarily yesterday. The announcement came out very late last evening, about 11 o'clock Ottawa time, from Defence Minister Harjit Sajjan's office, and it did not shed a lot of light into what's really gone on here. I want to show you kind of how his statement began, though, and kind of read it out in full, because I think it's interesting that this was sort of the preamble for sort of the official word of this. Sajjan began his statement with an assurance, really. He said he takes all allegations of misconduct seriously and continues to take strong action on any allegation of misconduct that is brought forward, no matter the rank, no matter the position. So Art McDonald evidently facing some kind of an allegation here, the nature of which we do not know, but we did learn from the Defence Minister that the Canadian Forces National Investigation Service has an investigation on the go now. We learned that Lieutenant General Wayne Eyre, who was the commander of the Army, is now going to serve as the acting Chief of the Defence Staff while this takes place. But no further comment from Harjit Sajjan. You might remember, it was only last month, January 14th, was the change of command ceremony that brought McDonald into this critical role. His announcement that he'd be the next CDS, it came only in December. Probably a lot of questions now about the process to pick him, the vetting process. Once again, the Liberal government facing questions about someone they had named to a very important position. I want to play you a little bit of tape from that change of command ceremony, because it was very low-key because of the pandemic. But listen to these words spoken at the time by Art McDonald as he took over.
I apologize to you, my teammates, our teammates, who have experienced racism, discriminatory behavior, and/or hateful conduct. I am deeply sorry. I want you to know that I will do all that I can to support you, to stop these unacceptable acts from happening, and to put into practice our guiding principle: respect the dignity of all persons. Creating a respectful environment is a responsibility that we all share.
Now, I want to be really clear here, Heather. We don't have any reason to think that that statement is necessarily directly connected in some way to this investigation that we now know is underway. So I don't want anyone to conclude that there's an obvious link here. But his words at that time were coming in the context of some bigger picture challenges that the military was facing as it wanted to present itself as a good place to work, as it wanted to diversify its ranks in the face of the Black Lives Matter movement, conversations being had about the treatment of people of different races, and of course, the allegations that have plagued the military for several decades now, frankly, Heather, about the way women are treated in its ranks and the accountability questions around that. But now he speaks these words, and we see them in the light this morning of an investigation now underway into his own behavior.
And Janice, this investigation getting underway at the very time the military is already dealing with controversy and investigation into Admiral McDonald's predecessor.
That's right. General Jonathan Vance, reports first made by Global News about inappropriate behavior on his part, including a long-term relationship with a woman who was his subordinate in the military's ranks. Now, there is an official investigation into that too, trying to determine whether he violated the code for his military service. So they have rules, discipline around that, trying to determine also if any laws were broken in that case. And it's important to note that Vance, in the face of the report from Global News, has denied some of the claims against him. But it was Vance that launched Operation Honor, the military's effort to try to deal with reports of sexual misconduct and harassment in its ranks. It did that after an external review that went around to bases and tried to document the experiences of women in particular in the military. It had been trying to get a handle on these issues, but now it is facing 2 investigations into leaders from the very top of its ranks.
Janice, thank you very much. We'll, of course, be updating any new information we get on that breaking story through the day.